Well, hey there, Get Up and Go Challenge 40, day 4 today. Day 4. Definitely going down a different track with this challenge than I thought that I would. This is the 4th day in a row that I have not been live because this is one of those weeks where crazy has happened in my life, and in addition to what's going on in the world, in my life, all kinds of crazy stuff is being dealt with. And I think that's good because as we deal with our own crazy, as we deal with chaos on an individual basis, it helps to alleviate some of the chaos and upheaval in the rest of the world. When we get our world in order and our lives in order, everything else is impacted and runs more smoothly. So, totally deviating from what I normally do when I'm doing a challenge, because today we are going to talk about what's valuable to you, what's valuable and important to you, meaning our core values. Yesterday we talked about our why, and I find that whenever I do the 7 why deep exercise, some of my core values I'm reminded of, or they bubble up, or things that are important to me that I didn't even realize were important to me come up and come to the surface. And one of those is, a couple of those actually came up yesterday because I did this exercise a couple of different ways for a couple of different areas of my life. I did it for my physical well-being, I did it for my business and what I'm trying to create and the difference I want to make in the world, and I did it for relationships, because health and wealth and relationships are kind of the big 3 for me and for most people, right? Almost everything that impacts us we can break down to our health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial health. Those kind of all could fall under health, right? And then wealth is, well, I guess financial falls under wealth. How much do we have coming in? How much do we have going out? All those practical things that so many of us don't want to think about. And then relationships, because guess what? When we look at our lives, everything boils down to the experiences we have and the relationships that we have throughout our lifetime. Some relationships come and go. People enter our life for a reason. I swear they all come into our life for a reason. Even the bad experiences, even the bad people that impact us, they come to show us something. Now, I didn't used to believe that. I used to just think that life was unfair when I was younger, except my dad taught my sisters and I that, yeah, life is unfair, so you have to choose how you're going to respond and create the life that you want. So today I want us to, coming off of the 7 why exercise, really focus on and think about, I want you to pick 5. I want you to think about what are your 5 core values. And our core values are not, your core values are unique and special to each and every one of us. You get to have your core values, I get to have mine. I'm going to share mine with you because I just sat here for a minute and I said, okay, what are my core values? What are the things that come up for me over and over and over again? And that I actually filter everything I see, everything I hear, everything I believe, everything I feel through automatically, because they're actually at a subconscious level. A lot of these things I don't think about consciously. They are just such a part of me that I automatically default to them. One of those is, believe it or not, hard work. I grew up in a family where hard work was the expectation. And each and every one of us girls, my dad worked very, very hard. He grew up in a very poor family, and because of that, he was driven to work very hard and to provide more for his family, for us, my sisters and I, and my mom, than he ever experienced in his life. And I'm talking 1,000-fold more than he ever experienced growing up. And because of that, he ensured, and I did the same thing with my kids, and I am so glad that I did, this work ethic, this incredible work ethic that if life isn't fair, and if you're going to accomplish something, it's going to be based on what you do. And work can be, I will tell you, some of the toughest work that any of us will ever do is the mental work and the thinking and the planning and the personal development work that we, each and every one of us, need to do throughout our lifetime to become the best version of ourselves. So work can be physical hard work, or it can be hard mental work. But the only way we ever accomplish anything is because we do the work. We drive through it. We earn it, right? I think I told the story about earning my own stereo. Maybe I didn't tell it in this, but if not, ask and I'll tell the story. But the things we work for mean so much more to us than the things that are given to us or the things that are handed to us. And we treat them with a whole different level of respect. I mean, if you've got kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If they had to earn something or work for it, they took care of it. If they didn't, if it was just given to them and they expected it, they tend to not take as good a care of it. And yes, of course, there's exceptions to that, but the vast majority of people behave in that way. Human behavior is pretty predictable, right? Another one of my core values is the importance of taking 100% responsibility for ourselves. Now, I will admit, and we all will admit, that taking 100% responsibility is really, really hard, because that means that we have to accept and be responsible for the role we play in absolutely everything, every experience, everything that's ever happened to us. And it's hard, but guess what? With that acceptance of 100% responsibility for my life and what I'm creating in my life and how things are working out for me, I also have incredible personal power. It means that I have the infinite ability and potential to create whatever I want in the world, right? So I will say I'm 100% responsible for everything I think, everything I feel, everything I believe, even if I'm not consciously aware of it or not. I'm responsible for that. And I'm responsible to myself and making myself a better human being based on that responsibility. And with that, that gives me a lot of personal power and incredible personal freedom. Until we take responsibility for ourselves, we're giving away our power. We're giving away our personal power, and that means we're giving away our freedom to choose and decide and create the life that we want. So for me, hard work, 100% responsibility, because I know that I'd much rather have freedom and personal power than have somebody else be in charge of me or control me or be able to tell me what to do all the time, if that makes sense. Another one of my core beliefs and my core values is continuous improvement. I don't know where I picked it up, somewhere along the way, but through my life experiences, looking for ways to always find solutions and continually improve processes and to figure out faster, easier, more efficient, more effective ways of doing anything, and I mean anything in my life, has been built into my subconscious and my psyche. So whether it's making the perfect cup of coffee, not the perfect cup of coffee, but a continually improving cup of coffee, or looking at a way I do something in my business and finding a better way of doing that, or my own personal development, I am the first to admit that I am a huge work in progress and science experiment. I actually love using myself as a science experiment to test different things on myself. I did it with my physical health and my well-being because I was really, really sick when I was younger, and I didn't want to live that way. And I was like, well, the doctors have been testing me. Why don't I test myself and see what works? And actually, I'm the best judge of what works for me, right? Just like you're the best judge of what works for you. So this whole belief in always finding a better way, always finding an easier way, always finding a more efficient or more kind way of doing things, it's just kind of built into me with absolutely everything, from my businesses to how I raise my kids to everything. You know, when we start out doing something, we stink at it, right? We're terrible at it. Everything, you know, were you awesome the first time you tried to walk? No. How about the first time you tried to talk? No. None of us are. We all go through this progression and change as long as we allow ourselves to grow and continue to progress and change. And so continuous improvement is a huge part and core value of mine. Now, I was actually married to somebody who didn't really believe in continuous improvement and didn't believe they were one of these people that, and there's a lot of people like this, and we fall into the trap of thinking other people think like us, but guess what? They don't. We're all unique and different, and nobody thinks like you do, just like nobody thinks like I do. And I actually have to consciously remind myself of that a lot of times, because I have a different way of seeing the world and approaching the world based on my experiences than you and everyone else. And so when you link up with people that don't have that same core belief, it can cause challenges and definitely cause friction in the relationship. The ex was somebody who believed that, hey, he went to college, he went to trade school, he learned his skill, and he was just the way he was, and he couldn't be any other way. And to me, that was a core values mismatch, because I believe everybody has the ability to change and grow and become whatever they want to become. We don't stop growing, we don't stop learning, we don't stop being who we are and becoming a different, better person because we reach a certain age or we get through school, right? Formal education. And again, beliefs mismatch, core values mismatch. My fourth core value stems around the fact that I believe that each and every one of us, it's our purpose and our mission to be ourselves, to be who we really are, uniquely who we are, because we're all this miraculous combination of all kinds of things, right? There's good in all of us according to other people's judgment. There's bad in all of us according to other people's judgment. We're just this amazing combination of things, right? Feelings, all the areas of our life. And the only way we can be happy, and it took me a long time to come to terms with this, but the only way we're happy, really truly happy, is when we're living in alignment with who we really truly are and who we want to be, right? We're always in a state of becoming. That's the continuous improvement. But if we're not living in alignment with our core values, if we're in businesses or occupations or jobs that don't match what's really important to us, I'm like a really, believe it or not, super creative person. And I went to engineering school because I thought that's what I should do. So I took this creative, naturally personality and I shoved it into a structured box of mathematics and science and equations and reality that was really, really hard for me to live. I was in this dual, purpose, splitting who I was and how I was showing up in the world. And I found that no matter how much success I found, and I found a lot of success in corporate America and a lot of success in business, I wasn't happy because I was in businesses and I was doing things that didn't match who I really wanted to be and who I wanted to show up in as in the world and how I wanted to be myself. And again, my sudden cardiac arrest, which was obviously a truly defining moment in my life, was the turning point. If I look back and I say, when did I really give myself permission to be myself and stop judging myself for what I wanted versus what everybody else thought that I should do and wanted for me? That's when my life massively changed and it went in a different direction. So being myself, not judging others, because guess what? When I get to be myself, everybody else gets to be themselves too. I don't get to decide what's right for them because I don't know. We all only ever know the tip of the iceberg of another person. And so, I'm not going to judge you and I don't want you to judge me as well. So being you, it doesn't mean I won't coach you and help you on things. It just means that I'm going to try my hardest to understand why you think and feel and believe the way you do. Just like I continually try to understand myself better. Why do I think and feel the way I do? And honor more of, am I living in alignment with my head and my heart and my soul and my being, as well as going after things that I think I want in the world. So being yourself is my fourth core value. And of course, my fifth core value, the fifth most important thing to me is love and the foundation of love. And love is at the basis of our relationships with ourselves, our relationships with other people. And I will say I am definitely not perfect in this category, and I have a lot of work to do, especially in the area of self-love and taking care of myself. If I look back on my past lifeline, there have been lots of examples where I just totally have not taken good care of myself, and that's definitely not showing love toward myself. But love is the foundation of everything for me. It's why I give value. It's why I produce content. It's why I show up in the world, because I believe that I'm here to, in whatever way possible, make the world a better place. I'm here to make a contribution, to be of some value, and giving value is giving love. I found love is the fastest way to overcome relationship challenges. It's the fastest way to solve conflict. It overcomes fear and all kinds of things. So again, my core values and what your assignment is today is to spend some time today, however long it takes you, and think about what are your, and I've got other core values, right? We all do. And then we have values that are important to us, but they may not be at our very core. These are 5 things that are at my very core. And if I try to live in ways that don't honor these things, I am not happy. I am freaking miserable. And I found that as I'm transitioning from the offline world to the online world, just like on the offline world, just like everything in our life, there are activities and practices and industrial ways of being, industries all have their own insider secrets and practices. There are ways that the online world behaves that go against my core values and my beliefs. And I push against those, and that's part of, why I do challenges, is because I want to encourage you to find you, to find your place in the world, because there's a place for every one of us. There's plenty of business when we're talking about business, right? Or we're talking about our person. There's plenty of room for every single one of us on this planet. Anybody who says otherwise, there's plenty of abundance for all of us on this planet. Anything you want, you can have if you believe you can have it. So think about today, your 5 core values. Just be brave. Share your list of 5 in the comments below. I just bared my soul and shared all mine here. So feel free to do the same. And you can just listen. I could just say love, being you, continuous improvement, 100% responsibility, and hard work. Those are my 5 core values. And again, I have others, but those are the 5 that come up for me over and over and over again whenever I think about things. And on a subconscious level, the things I do, the things I choose to do, the way I show up, those 5 things definitely color everything, right? That's it. It's definitely probably not what you would expect in a 40-day get up and go challenge, but it's definitely important given what's going on in our world. Make sure that you are living and respecting your core values, right? Okay, share them in the comments below. I will be with you tomorrow. I promise I will get up and going live as soon as things calm down in my life. Take care, and I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.